Hello everybody, this is Yvonne for Yvonne's Love Stream Walks. Walking each other home today, Friday the 30th of January 2026. And I can already see Diane very quick to hop on today, and Cindy and Bonnie. And you can see I'm at the beach here at Findhorn. And I want to medal today because it's quite arctic. Joan, hello. Yeah, it's very beautiful. The sea is right out there because it's low tide, but you can still hear it. And there's a beautiful sky. It was sprinkling rain on me a while ago, but now it's just this lovely sort of mauvey greyish. Hello Ellen and Susan and Jeanette. Welcome to Findhorn Beach. And we're not going to get any sort of sunset because the clouds, I'm just turning to where the sun would be setting over there, but not going to happen today. Yes, many people's favourite place, this, with its beautiful, you can see there's a bit of a wind blowing on these lovely grasses. And we're going to go for a little walk. There's a huge, what do we call them? What are a group of seals called? You won't be able to see them, I think, because they're just little black smudges, but there's a lot of them over on the other side of the bay. Hi Peter. Here we are at Findhorn. And as we go for a walk today, we'll see the bay. The reason I came today was I suddenly saw that it was low tide, or more or less exactly 4 o'clock. And I thought, oh, let's go. Thanks for the warm smile. I have one hand on the phone and one hand in my pocket. And as I go into my pocket, let's look at, we're walking with two qualities today. And I think they go together. And they are purification and freedom. And you can see that they're quite contrasting, but actually, for me, the more purified I become, the freer I will be. And by purification, I'm thinking of getting rid of any of my judgments, addictions, all my shadow qualities. As I purify and simplify, I'll be free. The more I'm purified, excuse me, and unattached. And look, here we have, you saw, if you weren't here right at the beginning, there was a lovely gorse bush. So there's a few gorse out. And I always think, when I look at gorse, you know, you've got the prickly bits and you've got the blossoms. And I was feeling a bit prickly this morning. I wonder when the last time you were all feeling a bit prickly. But I tell you what, there's nothing like a bracing walk along the beach at Findhorn to get me out of my prickles. Susan, I'm glad you're happy to be beside the seaside, beside the sea. Oh, yes, the cold wind, don't tell me about it, Peter. But as we begin our walk, thinking about purification and freedom, Peter, I just wanted to say to you that the plans to experiment and pilot a signature program at the park, possibly in April, accommodation and meals will be included. Well, that's the plan. I went and asked specially. So, yes, it will be a package deal. So keep your eyes out for that. The best place to look at the moment for the calendar of what's going on is at visiticovillagefindhorn.uk. All one word, visiticovillagefindhorn.uk. And then if you go to the calendar, you'll see what's on. There's actually a movement workshop on this weekend with Deborah Lewin, who you met on one of our walks. Hi, Gloria. Well, Martin in Vietnam. Hi, Alice in Western Australia. And I got a lovely message from Phoenix in New South Wales on my Love Stream page, Facebook page, saying she'd woken up early in the morning because East Coast Australia is 11 hours ahead. And she was going to see if she woke up in time to join us live. Anyway, hello to all of you who are watching now and the recordings and joining me at this lovely view of Findhorn Beach. And the sky is just glorious, actually. Yeah, well, Fremantle, Hanoi also will be nice and sunny, but I'm not going to think about that. Anyway, here we go, wandering along here. There are seals at the end of the walk, but they're going to be too little, so don't get too excited. But behind me, we have the masts of the marina. It really doesn't matter what the weather, it always looks quite gorgeous. Some little doggies there for you. Yeah, so today, Eileen, well, in the coming week, because I always talk about the coming week, she talks about the joy of doing. We're humans and we're human beings, and when we do, if we don't do with the right vibration, we're actually sending negative things out into the world. So you remember Eckhart Tolle, he says the 3 levels of doing where the vibration will not harm is acceptance, joy, and enthusiasm. And he says to practice, choose something that you don't like doing much and see if you can bring your presence to it and bring your joy to it. Choose it, choose joy. And he said the quality of our presence affects the quality of what we're doing. So I've been practicing that myself. Yes, a tiny oops there. But look, isn't that lovely with the grass and the boatyard behind? I'm quite immersed in Eckhart Tolle at the moment. I'm rereading for the 3rd time, underlining, embodying, attempting to practice. Oh, Georgia is having snow, Lida. Yeah, well, it's cold enough to snow, but we're not snowing. Now, this is a really interesting thing up here. I don't know whether I've shown you this before. Now, this is the top of the stairs that used to go straight down to the beach. So nowadays, when you walk up, usually, you walk up and then the steps go down to the beach. But look how far the beach is now from where the stairs used to be. All of this sand has been deposited. Isn't that amazing? And you know, Eileen talks about change, the constants of change. Well, every time I come down to this beach, things have been left differently. Oh, that's a very nice seascape, sandscape, reedscape. Yeah, it's very nice to bring you all to Scotland. Next best thing is that we're all here together in person, having a little wander along the beach. And those pieces of wood jutting up from the sand, they used to be very, very high. So sand is being deposited all the time. And there's a tanker way out there in the distance. You probably can't see it. I doubt the cruise ships are pulling into north of Inverness at the moment. Invergordon they come into. Oh yes, screenshot time. Well, the power of now is good, but a new Earth, I think, is even better. And you can see it's very, very low tide. Oh, you can see the ship. Oh, yeah, look, it's over there, and it's just turned its lights on. Oh, yes, there it is. Right in the middle now. Heading out to the North Sea. Yeah, so it is very lovely coming up through the dunes, isn't it? I wonder how many of you have done this walk and what you're doing right now other than watching this with me and chatting. Are you in your kitchen? Are you in bed? What are you doing? And how are you? How are you? How are you? And here we have the bay. Double delight. Bay and beach. The other book I recommend is The Diamond in Your Pocket by Gangaji, who is an American woman. Gangaji, Gangaji. Also a very, very, well, helpful for me anyway. But I find Eckhart Tolle explains things, especially the pain body, very clearly. And I think although, yeah, it helps to understand and then put into practice. Look at this, we're going through taking you through the grass. Oh, Peter, now I'm going to give you a bit of coaching. You're dreading performing your piano tonight. Now, Eckhart Tolle would say, acceptance is the first step. Accept that you're going to play the piano tonight. And then maybe bring some joy into it so that the playing of your piano has a wonderful effect on people. And then maybe enthusiasm. And of course I'm just picking Peter here because he said he's dreading it. But anything that any of us dread or don't look forward to or do with a sort of negative attitude, we all need to change that, because it does ripple out into the world, you know. I think we really, really, really need to take that on, because it's an accountability, isn't it? That how we are and the energy with which we do things and the vibration we put into things, it all ripples out. Oh, Lida, I would love you to be feeling the cold right now. It is, as you can see, the wind in the grasses. It's pretty cold. Earlier I looked and it said it's 5 degrees, but it feels like 0. Ah, Susan, you're drinking lemon tea. Alice is in bed. Tom is enjoying the sound of my voice. How sweet, Tom. I actually don't like hearing my own voice, but I will accept it and even find joy in it. And look, this is a great walk we're doing together, single file for now. And look, the windsock has been blown off. We'll even enjoy the rehearsal then, not so much pressure. What a shame we all can't come along and hear it and applaud you. Now what's nice about this walk is that as we go further and further around the bay, we get a better and better look at the village. Ah, Cindy, you're bundled up watching the rain. Well, that's quite cosy. We're heading out towards the point, so where the bay meets the Murray Firth. Ah, Joan is under a plaid, warm and enjoying the walk. Okay. I'm the only mad one out in the cold. Look, it's very good. It gets me out on even the worst weather Fridays. Yeah, this quality of presence is an interesting one. This feeling our own essence beyond the body and the doingness and the thinking, this quiet consciousness and essence. That's what I'm consciously wanting to, what's the word, tune into. I want to presence myself, my consciousness. Ah, look, that's really pretty as well. Yeah, there's a lovely little dog out there frolicking, and there's about 5 seals on this side of the channel, and there's a huge group of them over on the other side. I can't get close enough for it to be of use to you really, but up here from high, over there where the trees come down to the sand, just to the right of where the trees come down to the sand, there's a smudge, and that's a lot of seals. Oh, Kendall, you had an image of a ship sailing over the fathoms deep bones of ancient Viking warriors. Well, speaking of ancient Viking warriors, Up Helly Yar happened in Shetland last weekend? Or during the week? I'm not quite sure what the date of it is, but Up Helly Yar is they all dress up as Vikings and process through the streets of Lerwick, and they build a huge Viking ship and then they put it to the torch, and it's magnificent. I mean, it makes Berghead's burning of the clavey, makes it small. The burning of a whole Viking ship. If you Google it, there's probably pictures. There were lots of pictures in our newspapers. I have got on boots that have got sort of a high sole on them. So it, not hiking boots, boots that I can get away with in a nice place as well really, but can also be quite hardy. Yeah, well, we don't need to compete with other people, do we, in what we do? Look at that, that's a great view. Come on over. Oh, this last Tuesday, that's when it was. Up Helly Yar, yeah. Great festival. Of course, the days are pretty short up there at the moment in Shetland. But they are getting longer here. They're longer by half an hour in the morning and by an hour and a quarter in the afternoon. Now this is the end, so this is the point here where the bay here, there's a channel that runs along there and it goes out into the Murray Firth, which goes into the North Sea. And this week, Eileen also says something for those of you who are feeling like you're a bit old and getting older and not looking forward to it at all. She says, age is your consciousness. The fountain of youth is your consciousness. So it's up to each of us to sort that out. And she says the joy of living is the elixir. That's a great word, elixir. The joy of living, the joy of being is your elixir. What a lovely thought. Now I've come down onto the point, lovely grassy bit here. And I'm on the other side of town now, so you can see right across. Isn't that good? Ah, your grandmother was from Lerwick, Bonnie. Maybe I'll get there this year. We will see. I've been to Orkney, but I haven't been to Shetland. A bit of an oversight. And also Eileen talks about that wonderful word expectancy. Expectancy. She says that brings zest and sparkle to life. Expectancy. Isn't this a bit? Now look how big this is, the beach of the bay, and it's very big at low tide. And all of you lying under blankets and plaids and cozy and drinking tea inside, I wish you could feel the wind. Ah. Anyway, we're going to head this way and back up. Eileen also talks about the infinite universal mind. She often talks about the universal mind, and for us to merge with it, to feel the oneness with it, and not the separation, the illusion of separation. Yes. I noticed my little glove got into a corner of the picture last week as well, down in Fort William. My glove apologises. Oh, and something Mark Carney said in his speech at Davos. Ah, yes, braving the elements, Cindy. Oh, hello, Emma. Braving the elements is good for me, good for you, good for us to get out amongst the elements. We are part of the elements, and my hands will lose their numbness eventually. But what was I going to say? Oh yes, Mark Carney's speech. I thought that I could translate that for Findhorn Eco Village at the moment too, where he says, nostalgia is not a strategy. Now he was talking about, you know, the way things have been in the world. They're obviously not the same anymore. But I feel that the same for Park Eco Village Findhorn. You know, the name has changed. It's not all about the Findhorn Foundation anymore. And nostalgia for how it used to be is not a good strategy. Neither is nostalgia for how our lives used to be. In fact, looking back constantly isn't useful generally, although we can learn from history, but still. Be in the moment, that's what it's all about. Isn't that great? Coming over the hill there. Wait a minute, let's go down. Coming up. And then this lovely sight of these endless sandbanks and the smudge of the horizon. And then walking through, you can almost feel like we're part of the grass. Well, I'm going to stop at the captain's table on the way back to my house. and have something warm to drink. Rosie's probably cosily in front of her wood-burning stove. Lovely walking through the grasses, isn't it? And also, Kendall sent me another little delightful snippet from the Marginalian. This time there was something about William Blake, the wonderful poet and artist. Peter, I just read your comment. Yes, well, for me there is nostalgia. I do practice a bit of nostalgia for how it used to be. At the park and at Clooney, there is nostalgia there for me. And I know it's not useful in the end. And of course there is a need to preserve the essence. And the whole place is undergoing a whole structural change. And that's what's happening with the Lorians as well. David Spangler founded the Lorians, and they had this quiet time, and now they're beginning to experiment, as we are here, and find new ways, but also keeping what's important. Oh, Gloria, no, it is beautiful, isn't it? There's some really lovely sort of golden bits in the reeds or the rushes or whatever we call them, and then there's bits that are very blonde. And all these people have made little pathways through. Yeah, it's gorgeous. And just before we end, I do want to read you this bit of Blake, where it says, he says, the best and only effective way to complain about the way things are is to make new and better things, untested and unexampled things, things that spring from the gravity of creative conviction and drag the status quo like a tide towards some new horizon. Isn't that brilliant? There's a dog barking behind me. Hello, Neil. Yeah, that last bit. Drag the status quo like a tide towards some new horizon. Well said, Mr. Blake. And he also said, the tree, which moves some to tears of joy, in the eyes of others is only a green thing which stands in the way. As a man is, so he sees. Yeah, to quickly paraphrase that. Some people just see a tree that gets in the way. Other people see a really magnificent, wondrous thing. And as a man or a human or a woman or anyone is, so they see. But I think all of us on this walk today see the beauty in this scene. And I'm going to end today with my hands quite cold, looking through this beautiful view with a Scottish blessing, which is very in tune with what we'll talk about a lot on these walks, and that is light. Being the light, blazing the light. And the Scottish blessing is, may the blessing of the light be on you, light within and light without. May the blessing of light be on you, light without and light within. And that way, everybody can benefit the light that we are, from the light that we are. Oh, I'm way up high here. I'm getting a wondrous 360-degree view. So I'm going to give us one last 360-degree view, and then I'm heading for the captain's table. Yes, ready for the snow and ice for some of you. Stay warm. Stay warm. Yes, I hope your rehearsal goes well, Peter, and lots of love to all of you, no matter what you're doing today. And may your cats be well, and your dogs be well, and your children be well. And let us know that on some level... Oh, wait, look, there's the moon. There's the moon. Is it full? Maybe one day of fullness? Wow, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Look, the moon. The moon is not... Oh, it's not quite above the water, though. Diane, you did a wonderful watercolour of the moon above the beach once. Anyway, that's me for now. Goodbye to the moon that just went behind a cloud. And goodbye to you all till next Friday. Mwah! Bye for now.